Hey, what's going on? It is Dan from Optimize Alpha, and I want to take you through the top 3 reasons why you shouldn't do intermittent fasting. Now, I know I am a huge proponent and a huge fan of fasting. I feel like it is one of the best tools that we have to lose weight, to burn off fat, and also to do it in a way that's sustainable. But one thing that you need to know is that it doesn't work for everybody, and there are some evidence-based reasons, and there are some reasons that I've actually found through just helping clients that you should definitely be aware of. So the very first reason why you shouldn't do intermittent fasting is one, if you are dealing with high levels of anxiety on a daily basis, intermittent fasting or fasting for long periods of time can actually exacerbate this. Now, they've actually found through science that people who do have a little bit more anxiety than others and carry it with them throughout the day, they actually enhance their levels of anxiety when they are forcing themselves to fast. Now, there's a little bit, and here's Bally. Let me show you. Bally right here is just licking his balls while I'm trying to make this video. But anyway, so if you hear that weird sound, that's him licking his balls. Anyways, so for people who actually have the mindset that they're forcing themselves to not eat, that is where the anxiety comes from in the first place. When they have the mentality that they're not eating, so I have to force myself to fast until this certain time, that puts a lot of pressure on themselves. And maybe you've felt this before. Maybe you've tried to fast all the way till maybe like 3, 4, or 5, especially if you've been trying to do a 24-hour fast. Now, this can be a little bit too much pressure. And one of the things I tell my clients is, regardless of whatever it is, if you're feeling a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure to eat or to fast, I would say break the fast early. Don't force yourself to go all the way to a certain time, and allow yourself to break the fast early, especially if you're a beginner. You should be going a little bit slower with your fast. You should be fasting a little bit longer, maybe week by week, doing it maybe, extending your fast by maybe 1 hour a day on a week by week basis instead of trying to tackle on a 24-hour fast right off the bat. So if you find yourself being forced, or you're forcing yourself to fast to a certain time and it's not working out for you, and you're feeling the pressure and you're feeling a little bit of stress around it, by all means, let yourself break the fast early. Now, reason number 2 as to why you may not want to do intermittent fasting as part of your lifestyle, and this is a big one that people don't necessarily take into account, and it's the fact of people who have very highly physically demanding jobs, or even pro athletes who have to be physical, who have to do practice, who have to do game day, and they're pretty much physically active on a hour by hour basis throughout the day. Food is energy, and anytime that we're depleting energy from our bodies, it will affect what we do, especially if what we do is in the physical nature. Now, here's a little bit of a story. I actually had a client of mine who was a massage therapist. So she was working with clients 4 to 6 hours a day, usually 6 hours on average. And if you know anything about massage therapists, they are using their arms or using their bodies on a very, very, very high level in terms of strength, in terms of strenuous activity. Even like helping a client for 1 hour, massage therapists would need at least like 15 minutes to half an hour, if not longer than that, to recover in between clients. So I had a client who was a massage therapist, and she's like, I need to eat breakfast. There's nothing I can really do about this. So what did we do? We got her to eat breakfast. We got her to feed herself regularly throughout the day, and all we wanted to make sure was that she was actually hitting the caloric intake that we set for her. And as long as she was hitting that, then she could eat in whatever way that she wanted to. And because of her energy needs with her job, we needed to schedule frequent meals for her on a regular basis, and that is what worked for her. Now, if you are highly sedentary or not as physically active, and what I mean that is your work has you sitting in front of a desk for long periods of time, sure, maybe you may get a workout in for an hour or so once a day or whatever it is, But if you're not physically active, if you're not highly physical in your job, then I'm going to say that fasting is probably a good tool to use for yourself. But if you're someone like my client who's a massage therapist, or if you're a construction worker and someone that just needs daily energy going into their bodies so they can do their jobs efficiently and effectively, you may not want to do intermittent fasting. And the third reason to not do intermittent fasting is if you are using intermittent fasting as a license to go and eat whatever you want without being accountable to it, I'm going to say that this is not the tool for you. I have seen so many people do 24-hour fasts only to eat 5 servings of Thai food in one sitting because they're just so ravenous they can't do anything about it. That's like the whole point of intermittent fasting, is to give your digestive system a break. Now, if you're going to go and break your fasts with highly processed foods and just eating shit in general, then you probably want to look at a more moderate way of eating for yourself. Now, again, I have another story for this. Like when I first started fasting, I really did not take into account the amount of calories I was breaking my fast with. So I would do a 24-hour fast, and I was very guilty of this very same reason right here. And I would break my fast with highly processed foods, or I would allow myself to eat chips, or I would go and eat ice cream because, hey, you know, YOLO, I just did a 24-hour fast. I have a lot of calories to work with. What you don't realize is that if we're not accounting for these calories that are going into our bodies, then we're really kind of guesstimating. And if you're doing, say, a form of intermittent fasting and you're not losing weight, then you want to take into account how many calories you're using to actually break your fast. Again, intermittent fasting is a tool, it's a lifestyle tool for you to be able to keep a caloric deficit and sustain a caloric deficit. But if you're using it as a license to go off and eat whatever you want, that's not necessarily what the tool is being used for. So make sure that whenever you are fasting for whatever period of time, whether it's 16 hours, 24 hours, whatever it is, or even 3 days, one of the things I get my clients to do is I just get them to track their meals, and I get them to put it on their food tracker, whether it's MyFitnessPal or another, just to track exactly what's going into their bodies, because not necessarily to count their calories, but to just be more aware of what they're breaking their fasts with. And once you're more aware through the process of tracking, then you're going to be a little bit more thoughtful about what you put into your body. And the other rule that I would have is make sure you're breaking your fast with whole unprocessed one ingredient foods, and that means animal proteins, vegetables, one ingredient type of carbs like yams, sweet potatoes. I think yams are sweet potatoes, fruits, or even potatoes themselves. And make sure that what you are breaking your fast with is being done in a whole food way. And I like to tell my clients, if it was not available to you as a caveman, do not go and eat it. If you're looking at the back of the package and it gives you 5 billion types of ingredients, then stay away from it. Eat whole foods in order to break your fast, because that is going to serve you in the long term. It's going to give you more energy. It's going to fill you up a lot more. And doing that, you're probably going to see a lot more weight loss as a result. So yeah, there are some rules to to everything that we do, and you can call them policies. Actually, there are policies to what we do, especially when it comes to the diet end of things. And I'm going to say this: not every single diet is meant for everyone. And even when it comes to intermittent fasting, I'm such a huge fan of it, but it is really not for everyone. I know some people that eat breakfast, and more power to them. You know, keep on eating breakfast. I know some people that love fasting, and awesome, like keep on fasting. But diet is not religion. What you have to do is you have to make sure that the diet fits your lifestyle. And also, one thing I tell my clients all the time is, even though I give you a structure, make the structure yours, okay? That is where you make the structure yours based on your lifestyle, based on your work life, and even based on your hunger alone. So make the structure yours, and I like to tell them to create your own diet based off of the structure I gave you. Take what works, discard what doesn't, just like Bruce Lee says, and make your own diet. And do not be so dogmatic with your nutrition choices. Do not call yourself an intermittent faster. Do not call yourself a keto guy or a keto girl. You are more than these labels that you place on yourself. And in regards to your diet, the only diet that should be yours is the one where your name is in front of it, and not one where we call you a faster or anything like that. So hope you got a lot of value out of this video, and if you did, please like and please subscribe to this video, because again, I work with clients all the time. There are so many nuances to dieting and even working out, and if you saw any of my other videos, even like when it comes to mobility and stretching, all of these things are meant to optimize your body to work the best in order to impact every single other part of your life. And I truly believe that you can use your own body transformation as a vehicle for change in every single part of your life. I have seen it with my own clients. I've seen my clients lose 20 to 30 pounds, increase the quality of the women that they date, and I've seen them, lose the weight again and make incredible advances in their own businesses. And whatever goals you have for yourself in regards to your own body transformation, just know that when you transform your body, when you start taking control of the only thing you have control over, which is your body, then you are actually controlling the one thing you have control over, which is your choices and yourself. And that is it. So yes, please subscribe and press the notifications down below. And if you have any questions or any comments, I welcome them. Please leave them in the comment box. So I'll talk to you soon, and take care. Peace.